Alright then, I've just finished reading Bobby Heenan's biography, which is entitled Bobby the Brain, Wrestling's Bad Boy Tells It All. So I thought, while it's fresh in my memory, I'll give you a bit of a review, so I can tell you the stuff that's fresh in my memory, because I've just finished reading it. It only took me about 3 days to finish this one. I tanked through it pretty quickly. It didn't take 3-4 days, obviously, but on and off. 192 pages long, published on Triumph Books in 2002. And yep, that's the basics of the book. Now for my little review of it. I thought it was a really good book. If you've not read it before, then I suggest you do, especially if you're a fan of the guy. Like I've said in previous videos, I'm a really big fan of Bobby the Brain Heenan. And for me, he's the best manager of all time, and he's the best commentator of all time. So I had to read this book, and I was told by other people that it's a really funny book, and I should check it out. So I checked it out, and it's quite funny in bits. A lot of the people he was talking about in the video, I'm not too familiar with, like Baron von Raschke, I can't say it properly. Baron von Raschke, Ray Stevens, Vern Gagne, people like this in the AWA back in the day. Nick Bockwinkel, talked a lot about him. He said he was a nice guy, clever guy. But these guys, I don't really know much about them, so I wasn't that interested. I was interested in the stuff like people I did know about, like stuff about Andre the Giant and stuff that surrounded WrestleMania 3. Some interesting stories, like Andre said that he was going to, like, if you've seen WrestleMania 3, that they came down to the ring on like a sort of cart that was, made to look like a wrestling ring. Well, Andre said that he's going to tip over Hulk Hogan's, and Vince McMahon turns to Bobby Heenan and says, if he tries anything, just keep an eye on him. And Bobby Heenan turns around and says, I'll tell you what, I'll keep an eye on him, and 93,000 people in that arena will keep an eye on him, but that's all we can do. He just was putting over the fact that the Giant, he was such a legitimately tough guy because he was so big and so strong. People couldn't do stuff to him, and like if you wanted to stop him doing something in the ring, you just couldn't. Whatever Andre wanted to do in the ring, he did. I'm talking about Andre. This is all about Bobby Heenan. This is a really good book. I don't know if he wrote it or if it was ghostwritten. Probably ghostwritten, but still, Andre again. Bobby the Brain Heenan's book. It's a really good book. People rated it quite highly. I would give it probably about 7.5 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10, because for me it talks a lot about people I didn't know, and I'm not too interested in, if I'm being honest. Obviously Vern Gagne and Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens, they have their place in the wrestling folklore and wrestling history, but for me, I'd rather hear about guys who I already know about, like the Hulk Hogan's, the Roddy Pipers, and like Mr. T when he made his appearances, Andre the Giant, people who were around at the time. And another thing that made me laugh in the book, that he was not a fan of Tony Schiavone at all. He was very critical of Tony Schiavone, which I found was just shocking, to be honest. Like I've never had a problem with Tony Schiavone. I liked him, but I can never tell on air that they had a problem with each other. Like all those years they did Nitro together, but yeah, apparently they didn't like each other. So yeah, 7 out of 10. I suggest people read it. I would read it. I'd buy it if I hadn't already read it, of course. Low points of the book. It's a bit short in my opinion, especially because he was in the business from the early 70s up until about 2000, so that's 30-year career condensed into about, how many pages did I say before? 180, 190, something like that. So yeah, too short. It could have been a lot longer. The WWF career could have gone. He could have talked about it a lot more. I think it's just one chapter where he talks about his WWF career, and then obviously he relates it to other chapters, but still there's not that much about it. So if you're looking for that, you're not going to get much out of it. If you're a long-time Bobby Heenan fan, then yeah, by all means check this out. If you're interested in the history of the AWA and stuff like that, and the people who were in there then, check it out. If you're interested in how fans were back in the day and how violent they were, yep, check it out, because he has a lot of good stories about that. But WWE days, not that much. So yeah, 7 out of 10. There it is.